Hello, hello. A change maker, Sandra Madafferi here again, and with another special business entrepreneur that runs her own business, someone that inspires me all the time because she has so much great background behind her and just keeps taking herself and her business up to the next level. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the Gold Coast naturopath herself, and biochemist, and my personal naturopath and friend, Teresa Todd. Welcome, Teresa.
Thanks, Sandra. Thanks for having me on here. It's such a great pleasure.
Oh, it's
and hello to everyone watching.
Yes, so anyone that watches this can ask us any questions, or anyone that listens to this, as we I tell everyone every week, I like to do things quick, fast, and be as useful as possible and efficient as possible. So whether you're listening to this on the podcast, whether you watch this on YouTube, or you're in the Facebook group, if you have any questions for Teresa, please let us know. She'd be more than happy to answer them for you. So as an entrepreneur, health is really, really important, because if we don't have health, it's hard showing up in your business the way you want it to be. So you've helped me with something that has taken quite a few years for people to work out. Doctors kept being told there was nothing wrong, and with one lot of blood tests, you were able to actually tell me what actually was going wrong, and I'm feeling a lot better for it, 100%. So I'm going to hand it over to you, and I want you to let everyone know exactly what it is that you do.
So I am a naturopath and a biochemist, and what that means is I do meld science and natural medicine together. And I suppose I've always previously in my years, I've always thought of myself as a physical naturopath, but always acknowledged that there is more to just health than the physical. There is also mental and emotional. And that's when in the last 12 months, been working with you, training with you to extend my, I suppose, expertise into the NLP, hypnotherapy, and timeline therapy. And that's been such a game changer as far as just helping people resolve any health issues that they do have and the things that are holding them back. Because so many times I would see in the blood microscopy that I do that there was changes. And then when I would speak to a client and go, well, what happened X amount of time ago? And there'd always be a stressful event. So it's really interesting to now have those extra tools to add into the physicality of I suppose, natural medicine, to be able to help the clients get to that next level of where they want to be and truly break through everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who are watching and listening, Teresa is a master practitioner of NLP and timeline therapy. And one of the amazing things that she's now being taught has been meta medicine, where it is all about health and the correlation between trauma and how it affects your body. And as she said, it's been an absolute game changer for her. What I love is the fact that you're now able to not just treat the symptoms, but the root cause as well, which is absolutely amazing. And to be able to have both, and also then to be able to suggest to the unconscious mind health and healing, really makes you quite unique. And, you know, someone who I would say, if you've got any type of health issue that you're not sure what it's about, really needs to come and see you. So tell me a little bit about some of the things that you do work with.
So I work primarily with women, mothers, frazzled, fatigued, feeling overwhelmed. And too many times these days I see women that are struggling with their energy, and they think that being tired, being overwhelmed is just part of either being a mum, the aging process. It's just what I do. And I really do feel for so many women these days who are juggling, whether it be their own business, whether it be the work that they're in, and the family, and their own tasks and everyday household duties as well. And they're just running themselves ragged because our bodies weren't really designed for the pressures that we put ourselves under these days. So it is about working with women to help them break through, whether it is weight gain, low energy, brain fog, feeling frazzled, can't think straight, just not able to get out of bed, like feeling like they're on Groundhog Day every day. So that's primarily some of the symptoms that come in, and the reasons that could be underlying what's happening could be varied, everything from autoimmune diseases through to adrenal fatigue. So it's really about finding what's going on and putting that puzzle together so that we can unravel what's going on, whether it's an underactive thyroid or overwhelmed adrenal glands, or even liver these days. I've had a lot of women lately with liver and digestive issues creating the weight gain and tiredness, just not able to get out of bed like they should be.
Yeah. And I hear you loud and clear, because that was exactly what was happening to me. And unfortunately, you know, and I don't want to knock Western medicine, because there is a place for that as well. But these doctors are just so under the pump themselves that they just don't have the time to really investigate, and also to the parameters of what they're investigating, they have no idea of sometimes, I guess is the only way I'm going to say it. So what I love about what you do is that you look at people as a whole, as an integrated unit, you know, because you're not just your physical symptoms. And as you said, women, and you're exactly right, women are actually not meant biologically, and I know I might cop a bit of flack about this, but women biologically are actually not meant to work the way we do. We're not men. And there are some studies that I did a few years ago about why women are becoming so adrenal fatigue, getting adrenal fatigue. And that is because we push ourselves so much and we're constantly in fight or flight, and that's not what we're meant to do. So what are some of the tips that you can give some of the ladies who could be listening now?
So tips for restoring energy and helping keep a healthy weight is all about balance. So balancing, sometimes we think the rest and recharge time, that time of sitting still, we feel guilty about doing it. And it is about being able to have that rest and recharge. I always say you charge your phones probably at night, you recharge your phone so that you can use it again the next day. And yet we don't think of rest and relaxation, active rest and relaxation time as being something like that. So that's a number one tip, is to schedule that into something regularly, whether it can be daily, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe a short meditation. There are so many 10-minute meditations that people can do just to unwind, through to going and gardening or going for a walk.
Yep.
And then also making sure that you are getting that healthy eating. Doesn't have to be that you sit and you spend hours in the kitchen creating meals. It is about wholesome, healthy foods and a wide variety of salad fruits and the veggies, because that gives us all of those key nutrients.
Yeah.
And the big tip for that is, for so many women, is to not eat on the run, but to actually sit down and nourish our bodies and allow that process. Because if we think about it, back in tribal times, everyone sat down together and they would spend hours, and the Spanish still do this now. They spend hours eating and digesting that food, versus in Australia at the moment, so many women eat on the run. They grab the coffee while going out the door with the kids, or a piece of toast, or eat lunch at their computers while they're typing away and sending the next email. And the body just doesn't digest the foods when that happens. So it is key to having that time to sit and digest your food and really enjoy the nourishment and be thankful for the nourishment that your cells are getting, because it really does help with the biochemical processes that are going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I was guilty of this too. We feel bad You know, we always got to be doing something. Got to clean up, got to clean the house, got to do laundry, got to look after kids. And we actually put ourselves last. But the thing is, you can't pour from an empty jug.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we've got to stop and think. And, you know, I don't know what it is that makes us feel so guilty if we don't look after ourselves. But I think that's something that really needs to change. And we really need to realize that if we want to be more efficient and more effective, we do need to look after ourselves. And I've got a little tip about how I became sort of a little bit more efficient and effective. And one of the things that I did actually has saved us a bit of money too, is that I signed up to Marley Spoon. So you can pick your meals. Some nights we add our extra salad that I have growing in the garden, and it's just made it so easy to make sure we get, you know, every night at least we get fruit. We have fruit that, of course, we have at home, but we get our veggies, we get some protein, and there's variety. And I don't have to think about it. I go in there, I pick those meals, go in the kitchen every night at about 5, and off I go. And it's been actually one of the best things that I've done. Like I said, we've saved money because, like, we were buying things and then not eating them or not cooking them. And it's taken that whole stress of what am I going to cook tonight? And really
just
up to the plate.
I suppose another tip to add to that is when you are cooking meals, double the amount that you're cooking so that you can have another meal frozen in the freezer for another night. And I suppose that's how I decrease my time in the kitchen, is every time I make something, I ensure that there's enough. I double all the ingredients to make sure I've got something that I can bring out for another night when I am working late or too tired. And that way you can also save on money and time as well in that.
Yeah, what a good idea. And that's the thing, it's all about time management. And that's a great tip, actually, doubling your meal and freezing half of it for another night. What other tips do you have for us?
So other tips to have, just ensuring that you've got the support network, that if you do feel like you're overwhelmed, not to think that you're the only one doing this or that everyone feels this way and that you have to struggle through it, because there are so many women that tend to go, but if I tell someone, I might not be I might not be keeping up with society and keeping up with what everyone else is doing. But and personally, I found this over the years with the situations that I've had is for so many years I felt like I was alone and the only one dealing with the situations. And as soon as I did spend or speak to someone about it, you could really understand or see that other people are going through the same thing, and that they then have some strategies to help for you to look from a different direction, rather than just thinking what's going on is the only way for you to move forward. Yeah.
And, you know, it's important because with the cost of living and everything, you know, one income families doesn't cut it anymore. And when we think about, you know, I always think about the Stepford wives, and, you know, they had this immaculate house and always cooked these amazing meals, but those women didn't work. That doesn't exist anymore. So, you know, you've got to start prioritizing, and you have to prioritize yourself first, because if you don't, you'll end up in a situation where, you know, I hate to say this, but this is the truth. I've had adrenal fatigue twice. You'd think I'd learn the first time, you know, but no, twice, right? So you just, and then when you have to stop because you're forced, it's not very nice. Yeah, and then there's a lot of other complications and things that go with it. So, so tell us a little bit about, you know, when someone comes to see you, how the process works.
So the process, when someone comes to see me, whether it is online or in person, I suppose the biggest thing that I do is ask a lot of questions to get what I call the big picture. And from that, then we can put together. So I always say all the little things that someone might not think are important, when we put them all the pieces of the puzzle together, it means a lot. And so that then gives a big idea of what's going on. And then I usually back that up with some blood testing or some blood screening that I do here in clinic, and explain as much as I can to the client so that they can take control of their health. It's not about me just going, here, take this pill and everything's going to be fine. When someone has an understanding of where the imbalances are in their body or how they can make slight lifestyle changes, then they're more inclined to be motivated to make that happen rather than being told you need to do this.
Yeah.
So it's all about giving them the power of their health again and putting them in the driver's seat of their health bus.
Yeah, absolutely. And with most women, do you tend to, now that you've got this other training, do you tend to talk to them a lot more about that stress and giving them more hints and tips on how to relax and things like that?
Very, very much so. I always say I can prescribe as much nutritionals or herbals as I can, but it's all about the big long-term. All disease, or 75% of disease, comes from lifestyle and diet. So we have to change the lifestyle, the mental, emotional, and physical aspects to change the disease, because genetics are only 25% of any chronic disease.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where it's really important to change their mindset and get them to understand.
Yeah. And with NLP, you know what we say about genetics. So, you know, yeah, well, I won't talk about that here, but you know you know what I'm talking about. So I honestly believe that with the right frame of mind, because you've got to look after yourself too. See, there's a lot of stuff out there at the moment that talks about if you've got the right mindset, you can heal yourself, right? But we've got to remember, and this was a really big learning curve for me, that yes, your body can heal itself, but it needs to get the nutrients from somewhere. So you can't just sit there and meditate that you're going to heal yourself. You've actually got to give your body what it needs to heal itself. So that's where I love what you do, because it all comes together, that someone can come and see you and you can talk about the nutrition, you can talk about the supplements, and you can talk about the mindset, and bring it all together to give a complete overhaul of what needs to be done for the healing.
Very much so. And when we put it all together, the body's got an amazing way of healing itself. It just needs to be given the right conditions.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just about finding where the imbalance is.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, you can't take supplements and eat junk food. Don't work at all. So yeah, we've got to remember that. But what I want to talk about now, just so that people know exactly what it is that we are talking about and why you're an expert at this. Would you like to share about your own journey with health and where you are now? Because I absolutely love this story.
So my journey with health, I'm actually trying to get my life insurance reassessed as we speak, because I still say that I'm better, stronger, healthier, and more energized than I was 4 years ago when I took the insurance out. But they don't look at that.
No, they don't, because I've been trying to do the same thing with my husband.
I suppose my journey is when my daughter was born, I was diagnosed. I found out that I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis and thyroid cancer when she was 3 months old. So I'm happy to say that I'm free of both these days. But I suppose with the journey of myself and being the primary carer for my kids and being the sole income earner, it led me along the scope of needing to find ways to help myself be stronger, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally as well. And so over the years, I have changed my lifestyle as much as because I'm a naturopath, I have watched what I've eaten, but I also then had to really make sure that I backed it up with exercise, quality sleep, and looking at those key nutrients that we need as women, because we do get that because of our lifestyle and doing everything that we do need a few more key nutrients so that we don't rob ourselves of precious hormones. So yeah, these days I am, like I said, free of both it's been, what's my daughter now, 13, it's been 13 years, and I'm happy to say, yeah, that free of thyroid cancer and autoimmune disease. So it's all about just feeling happy and strong each and every day, and then implementing my own strategies into my life so that I make it important, so that I can be there for the kids, that I can be there for my clients as well, and run my business as well as running the family life as well. And looking at that, knowing, I suppose, if we touch on that, probably something you may not know, Sandra, is my mum passed of dementia at the age of 64.
Wow.
And it was whilst I do say it wasn't a big emotional event that sent her down that rabbit hole of disease. Looking at my genetics, I can also see what she did wrong in her life. And part of that was the stress, not enough good nutrition, not enough balance in her life. So I'm very dedicated to not doing the same mistakes so that I don't go down the same road as her.
Yeah. And also you're trained in neurochange. You're a neurochange method practitioner. And in that, we talk about how to slow down dementia, which I thought was a really interesting topic. So I think it's really important for people to learn some of these things, because we forget, that I mean, at the end of the day, we're aging. Okay, so parts of our body are going to get older, wear and tear. It's what we are, and we haven't discovered the youth elixir yet, but and our brain does slowly diminish as well, but we can slow that right down. I mean, one of the things that I do want to also mention before I forget is the fact that, unless people probably don't know this, but you get told that there is no cure for Hashimoto's, yet you did it. And I just wanted to mention that, because anything that you read on Hashimoto's, they tell you there's no cure, yet you did it. So not true. And so, although there isn't a youth elixir, I think if you look after yourself properly, I think you can slow things down. You can slow the deterioration of your body, and just slow that aging process down to the point that, eventually when the time comes, because we're all going to have to go, but at least you can have the best quality of life until, as close as possible to that last minute. And we've seen some gurus do that. Like, someone who I look up to is Louise Hay, and I think, I cannot believe it, and Wayne Dwyer, all of them, that when they passed away, you sort of got a bit of a shock when you found out, because they had been so healthy. So mindset is massive. So your mindset, I would love to tap into your mindset. What used to go through your head when you were deciding that you were going to get over this stuff, these diseases?
What went through my head? I just wanted to see my kids grow up. Like, I wanted to be there for my kids and give them all the memories. I mean, like I said, my mum passed so early in life that there is no more memories from that. So I want to be there for them. But then I also want to live my life. I've got this aim that I'm in my 80s and my 90s, and I'm still playing golf and lawn bowls, and I'm out every day and active and absolutely enjoying life right up until that last part of passing across. So that's my real aim, is to then just enjoy every moment of life, no matter how old. And I've got a couple of amazing clients that are in their 80s and playing competitive tennis, or still volunteering for the police force. And I love hearing that. And one of my clients is in her 90s and still would walk along the Esplanade at Burleigh Beach every day. It's just amazing to see that. And I think we all have the ability to do it. And we all need to we should all want to do that as well.
100%. Well, you know that saying, use it or lose it. And basically that's what we learnt with the neural network pathways that prevent dementia. It's basically use it or lose it. So it is about the more, I don't know why society, you know, I used to look at my mum at my age and I used to think, God, she's old. And I would go, no way, absolutely no way. But society had this thing that, you know, as you get closer to 60 years old, oh my God, you're getting closer to retirement. It's almost like there's nothing on the other side. Do you know what I mean? Of 60 years old. But these days, I think we've got a completely different mindset. And we just, you know, keep doing what we got to do, keep staying active, keep our brains active, eat the right food, sleep. You said sleep is really important. And then we can stay as active as possible. You know, occasionally we might have a few little slip-ups, but, you know, seeing someone like yourself is, for me, you've been a lifesaver for me. I have to say it's been miraculous after years to be able to get to the nitty-gritty of what was happening that quick and then to be able to get it all sorted. And, you know, I know it's not over yet, but we're well and truly on our way to getting everything sorted. So if you had to leave our listeners with some last minute tips, what would you tell them?
What would I tell them? I would say last minute tips would be, to stay active, like you just said, physically, mentally, to get good quality sleep, but it's about having that sleep routine. So getting off your devices before bed so that you create the melatonin to sleep, and then eating according to the seasons and with a wide variety of salad, fruits and veggies. But ultimately, I'm going to suggest that everyone lives with themselves 24/7, and they have a real gut instinct about what's going on with them. And listening to that gut instinct, whatever you want to call it, whether it's gut instinct, whether it's intuition, whatever it is, but listen to that, listen to your body and what's going on, because it will always tell you what's happening. And if you do need to slow down, or it will give signs and symptoms if you need to change the path that you're on. So it's all about listening to your body and then making some educated choices from there. Yeah,
absolutely. And I do love that point, eating with the seasons, because I did a course once that they spoke so much about that, because we eat summer fruits and veggies that we import in most of the time, because, and I know that because my husband's in the fruit and veggie game, that we import in, and then we wonder why we can't digest the food, because your stomach's not meant to at that time eat berries in the middle of winter. We eat oranges, vitamin C, to keep your immune system up. So, you know, if we think about it like that, it just makes so much sense, doesn't it?
And that food talks to our gut flora, and the gut flora then tells the body what's going on in the outside world. So if you're eating food that's not in your outside world, you get a miscommunication inside the body. Yeah, which is interesting, and probably something that most people have never thought of. Like, I didn't even think of it like that either. I just thought, oh, you know, it's winter, I'm supposed to be eating winter fruit and veg. So there you go. And of course, you know, growing them in your garden, if you can, beats everything else that you can buy out there in the stores, no matter what anyone says. You know, we started a little veggie patch here, and it's great to see what's coming up, and I really look forward to strawberries soon. I've already started to see some with the hot weather that we're starting to get lots of little things growing ready for the summer, which is really good. So thank you again for being here. And if anyone would like to contact you, they can find you at Teresa Todd Naturopath. Is that correct? Yeah, so all the socials, Teresa Todd Naturopath.
Yeah, or they can contact me and I will pass them on to you. But I really would like to urge anyone who's having any health issues whatsoever, or you're not sure, you think you've got a health issue, that I can vouch for Teresa personally. I can also vouch for the training that she's had when it comes to the mental and emotional stuff. And I can tell you that you are in good hands, and she will get to the bottom of it and help you. And you know what? There's nothing worse than feeling unwell. And, you know, when you feel healthy, you're on top of the world. That's the only way to describe it, because I know how I feel now compared to what I was like probably 2.5, 3 months ago. And it's such a big difference. And, you know, it doesn't matter what happens outside of you. You can face the world with a big smile on your face. When you feel healthy, nothing else sort of seems to matter, because it is your wealth. So thank you again for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for everyone for listening on the podcast. And we look forward to having you on the next episode. And for you guys that are on the group, thanks a lot for being there, guys. If you want to leave messages, Teresa is in this group. So, of course, you can find her directly through the group. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I've got to check. I probably should have checked before I jumped on to see who my guest is next week. Because we do have a variety. Oh, next week we've got Cheryl. All these guys coming in from sunny Queensland. We've got Cheryl next week, who is also a master practitioner of NLP, and she'll be joining us from Cairns. You've got to hand it to these guys because they are an hour behind us. So it might be 7:30 for us here in Melbourne, but it is only 6:30 for these guys. So Cheryl will be joining us. And I think we've got a couple of Queenslanders, one after the other, over the next few weeks. So thanks a lot for being here. We really look forward to seeing you again next week, guys. Bye for now.